All right. Good evening. Welcome into Baseball After Dark, 10 p.m. Saturday night. You could be out at the bar, you could be out on a date, you could be out at a restaurant, but instead, if you're like me, kids are sleeping, except for one that's coming back from the Savannah Bananas game at Yankee Stadium. And you could be doing baseball stuff. That's what I'm doing. Checking out what's going on and all that stuff. Ooh, who says I'm not at a bar? Ooh, at a bar and watching at the same time. That's awesome. Let's go, let's go, let's go. So there's already been some interesting stuff in the games that are actually live going on right now as we hop in here. Whoa, whoa, whoa. We don't need resources. All right. Logan Webb and Kershaw in this game. It didn't go well for either guy early. Kersh does not look very good tonight. And actually Shohei just homered off Logan Webb. But I wanted to look at how he got out of this, because when I came in here, he had bases loaded, no outs in the second inning. Yeah, all right, here we go.
In a home run.
Just want to see how Logan Webb got out of this, because I was like, man, this is going to be a slugfest. And I came in thinking that this game was going to be a tight game, Kershaw and Logan Webb. So infield hit there. Then Conforto ground ball hit. This is just bad luck. You know, you're a ground ball pitcher. You're getting ground balls. They're going through. This is the issue with being a ground ball pitcher sometimes. And then Pajes gets a third hit here. See, 3 grounders, 3 hits, bases loaded, no outs. And then somehow he gets out of it. So let's see what happens here. First, Miguel Rojas gets the 3-2 count. Pops it up. So sweeper. Really good pitch on 3-2. Yeah. I think he's probably expecting a sinker there. And then we're going to get a double play, Ben Rortvedt. We'll just watch both pitches. Ooh, sweeper chases him in. Probably change up off that, going the other way, yep. Chopper. Ooh, Devers. Ooh, wow, the old 3-6-1. So that's how it went down. That's sick. Yeah, so really good sequence here. He goes sweeper in. Chases him off the plate in, and then he says, but I need that ground ball. So I'm going to go to my changeup, which has got negative 5.5. So this is a worm burner. This is a changeup pitch all day. And he says this is the opposite movement the other way. I'm going to double play, but let's watch Rafi make this play. First baseman, Rafael Devers. Very nice. And Logan Webb's fired up. Gets out of a bases loaded, no outs jam. And obviously this is a huge game for the Giants with the Mets losing today. Huge game. Let's watch Rafi attack this ball. So he's back behind the runner. Man, he stayed short with that throw, right? Got rid of that nice. Anyway. So that's how he got out of that. I am curious. He just gave up a home run to Shohei. All right, we can only have it from this angle. It's a sinker. Oh, God. 115 at 25. So he tried the front door sinker, missed over the middle. And Shohei must have been looking for that. My God. Let's see the high home if we can see where this ball goes. Well, it goes up out of the screen. Center fielder doesn't even really go for it. Did it land on the netting? My God. When you're hitting no doubters to center in San Fran, and your name's not Barry Bonds, that's special. Because it's deep out there, and it does not fly. Damn, he's so good. All right, and then you said Teoscar just homered too. A double. So Mookie singled. Let's see where this ball goes. This is funny when you can't get the broadcast cam yet. Little flicks it in there, and then Teoscar is going to double him home. Oh, he's going to get him on a changeup. Oh, he hit the crap out of that, I think. Yeah, 105.4. at 19. I think this ball's probably off the wall and left. Ooh, left fielder made a jump for it. Helio Ramos. Mookie comes around, no problem with 2 outs. All right, and we're off and running. Baseball After Dark. Let's see what we got in the chat here. My favorite call is Joe Davis screaming. It sounded like a shotgun because it's the only accurate description I've ever heard the way the ball sounds off his bat. It is true. It does sound like a shotgun. It's that, just wham! Like, it's just crazy. It's different. The impact. So we'll wait for that to repopulate so I can hear that call. Okay, this inning's over. Maybe there's a chance. Let me flip it back to the main screen here. I still don't think we have the angle yet. So he goes changeup, sinker. All right, just gotta wait a second. Just gotta wait it out. All right, what else is happening though while we wait it out? Mizorowski did not have a great showing tonight, from what I could tell, versus the Cardinals. Padres are putting a real hurting on the Rockies. We talked about Kershaw. We're gonna show a little Kershaw tonight too. You know, he was going with the finger signs tonight. Probably the only guy that I've seen do that in a really long time. Webb has been plurality sweeper tonight, which is something. Yeah, I'm gonna look into that right now. Actually, let's go into that right now. Curious until we go back. Yeah, Logan Webb, 27 sweepers so far. Good call, Philip. Very good call. All right, let's see if that home runs up. Yep, here we go. Dude. Is that coming through loud enough? Should I temporarily raise the volume on the iPad just to get the full effect of the Joe Davis call? I'll do that just for a sec. All right, so right now we're at this. We need to go to like here. All right, apologize if this is too loud.
Open up the game. Center field, forget it. And gone.
Yeah, right up midway on that tarp is crazy.
How far did that baby go?
All right, and we're back. That's the San Francisco broadcast, so I can switch it. Damn. I can't hear that in my headphones. That's why I didn't know. Sorry about that. I can't switch it on the app. It's always going to be the home team. I should have known that. Man, you try to do something fun, and it doesn't work out. All right, what else we got? So Logan Webb's going heavy sweeper. We'll keep an eye on that game, certainly. Other stuff today that mattered. I would say the Blue Jays, the way the Blue Jays won this game against the Orioles, might be a fun one. But let's see what we have in the chat here. About Sproat's outing looked good today. Mendoza mentioned a drop in velo in the last inning. We're definitely going to have to watch Sproat. I saw that he was really good. Obviously, Mets did not win again, but that was encouraging. This might be the first year where the only award talks that can be had are about the NL Rookie of the Year and nothing else. Well, American League MVP. I know Cal Raleigh, I guess, has really fallen off. Are we ready to eulogize the Mets? Oh man, I know this was a tough one for Met fans today. 8th in a row. Just a low-scoring game. We'll get to that. We'll get to that in 1 second. Can we quickly watch the end of the Blue Jays game? Does anybody have an issue with that? I would like to peep the 9th inning of the Blue Jay Oriole game because this was a big game in the American League East. I'm just gonna do it for a second, and then we'll go over and we'll watch Sproat, and we'll continue to check in on that Dodger game. So Scherzer started this game. He did a nice job. It's actually a pretty hotly contested game. Sugano did a nice job, but it comes down to Cano. So Cano's closing right now because the Orioles are just like, they don't have any more relief pitchers left. Batista's dead. Not dead. I feel bad for him. Hurt again. They traded a bunch of dudes. So now it's Cano, and he's a ground ball pitcher too, and this is kind of how this inning developed. There was a lot of very accurate ground balls. First, Ernie Clement smacks the slider to left. That was a pretty armbar-ish swing, in my opinion. And then Joey Loperfido This guy actually whacked a double off me last year on an 0-2 count, and I was super pissed. That was a pretty good swing. Like that, like... Cano likes that type of contact. He's looking for the double play there to win the game. And obviously they're pinched in a double play depth, and I'm going to check the overhead in a second, but this ball just trickles through. So, but credit for putting the ball in play, you know? Yeah, they're in a semi-double play depth. And it gets through. Maybe the turf has something to do with that. I don't know. And then Andres Jimenez. Oh, yeah, he goes the other way here. This is a good piece of hitting, but again, like Gunner's right there. Just misses it. Blue Jays have some mojo still, man. So, you know, you're just getting singled to death. I mean, this is a negative 7.3 vert sinker. Like, that's outrageous. And then Springer gets on by catcher's interference, which is just like... This happened in the Mets game today, too, and it's just kill yourself type stuff. Fucking 2-strike catcher's interference. Just nothing pisses me off more as a pitcher. But... I mean, he's so late that look when he swings. Also, though, you can't let it happen if you're the catcher. Obviously, this is Basayo, right? The rook. So this sucks. But they don't get an out here because of catcher's interference. And then Kirk comes in. He hadn't played all game. This guy's been a stud all year. Roger Center was electric. He needs to hit the ball to the outfield. Off a sinker guy. Easier said than done, but he does it. Flies it out, and the Blue Jays win again. They maintain their 3-game. Maybe they're 3.5 up now. They are currently 3 up on the Yankees because the Yankees won 3 in a row. So I see some Red Sox RIP stuff in the chat. I don't think so. I don't think it's quite over yet. I expect the Red Sox to probably win tomorrow. I don't think the Yankees are going to sweep them in Fenway. Maybe they do. Maybe they do, but I don't see Boston going down without a fight. I really don't. I am pleasantly surprised for the Yankees, though, the way they've played in Fenway so far. All right, let's get in the chat, and then we can go watch Sproat. Yeah, it's part of being a Mets fan. Yeah. Still a game up. Mets, it's not over for the Mets. It's definitely not. There's plenty of games to go. This has been crazy. It's been crazy. 8 games in a row. Did not see this one coming. But they're not done yet. Does anybody else miss Dan Shulman as the voice of Sunday Night Baseball? I don't know if I miss it, but whenever I do hear his voice, especially when he's paired with Buck Martinez, I feel like that's a very pro booth with the Blue Jays. Yep, Scherzer started today. Cygnus, he did. Orioles have been on a little hot streak here. Now playoffs good enough, but still, there are signs of life. Well, I mean, shit, they have a lot of talent. I would think that they'd be playing free and putting it all out there, and a lot of guys are getting opportunities right now. They probably actually, not for nothing, they probably have a good vibe right now with the youth movement over there and just like having nothing to lose. You know, a lot of guys, their first turn through the big leagues, like you go to Toronto, that's freaking awesome. All right, Sproat. I think the people want to watch Sproat, and honestly, I didn't watch any of it. I was busy. I was at like the playground with my kid. But I want to watch Sproat. I saw he had a great game. I don't think he had any walks. Maybe there was one walk. I don't even know, but we're going to find out. Mets and the Rangers. That's how my brain's working today. All right, Sproat. I'm just going to watch, the decision pitches, and then we'll go from there. All right, so he gets his first out here with a curveball. I mentioned in the first start, like, and I don't mean to poo-poo it just because when I'm comparing him to McLean, but he does have way lower spin rate. It's still a good pitch. Still a good pitch. I actually think it's a pretty damn good curveball. It's got good velocity. It's got pretty big shape, and it's very useful versus lefties, which is like huge is to have a lefty formula. But yeah, it's just like the spin rate definitely stands out relative to McLean, obviously. But I guess that's probably unfair. So that's the first out. It's on a curveball. Now he's going to get Wyatt Langford on a sweeper. I mean, and you are seeing the way the Mets pitching development is kind of pushing a lot of these pitchers towards a very similar mix. You know, it's like both fastballs, four-seam and sinker, sweeper, but also curveball. And then like cutters, they're doing a little bit of it depending on the guy. and then everybody kick change. So it's a huge arsenal. But I think the curveball, even from like some guys with a little bit of a lower slot, something that I tried to do to neutralize lefties, and I think if I could have had better feel for it, it would have worked. I really think curveballs are good plays versus lefties, especially when you have a sweeper you can throw for strike one and then curveball down. Anyway, he gets his third out. Jock Peterson in the 3-hole. But he throws a 2-0 challenge heater here, and he's way under it, pops it up. So 1-2-3 in the first. Second inning, Jake Berger. Sinker. He's got great velocity, Sproat. I'll say that. Low spin rate, so that sinker has big-time potential. It's already really good. It's already really good. I think partly because of the low spin, actually. Then he's going to get his first strikeout of Josh Jung.
1-2 coming. And Sproat strikes him out.
Nasty. Good quick question in the chat here from Philip. Would you ever worry about a curveball and a sweeper blending together? Yeah, a little bit, but at the same time, like, it's really that depth factor that helps you with the lefties. So even if they're similar, in a way, you're kind of counting on it. Like, you want them to see the spin. Like, the way that I would prefer to go about it is throw a first pitch sweeper backdoor. Well, let's find a lefty here so I can demonstrate that. We'll just go back to Jock Peterson for a second. So, like, first pitch for me, if I'm throwing a sweeper, I like to throw it, like, right over, like, start it over here, run it into this area. And then, preferably, if I'm going curveball off of that, which oftentimes I would like to do. I mean, again, this is a guy who sucked versus lefties, but this was, like, a strategy that I thought could maybe work. And did work at times. It's just about execution. But anyway, then I would throw the curveball and pop it in a similar spot, but I want it to end up down here, you know, or even below the zone. So it's like I'm counting on the spin, like them seeing spin and expecting it to kind of stay up. And then by the time they realize that it's plummeting, like they can't make that adjustment. And if they hit it, they'll be on top of it. So that's the thought process there. But yeah, they could blend, to answer your question. And it is, you know, of course, you'd rather have distinct movements, but it is a little tricky. And you will see a lot of guys kind of hike up their arm slot on curveball. Certainly I did that a little bit, just to get over the ball a little bit better. All right, so he got Young swinging. Did we watch that? This is the sweeper. I guess I kind of was blacked out if we watched this. Oh, good pitch. Nice chase pitch. All right, and then he's going to give his first hit. Osuna. I mean, 97.4 on the sinker. Yeah, this is a front door sinker attempt. He just kind of leaves it middle away. So this happens sometimes. This is why if you're going to make this miss, you'd prefer to throw it really high. But ends up in the middle of the plate, like height-wise. All right, and then Jonah Heim. Going to get him out with a changeup. Really good pitch. Gets him to roll over, gets him to reach. All right, so first two innings looking very, very good. Third inning. And this is something that I mentioned. Like, I don't think Sproat at the moment profiles as a big strikeout guy. I think he profiles sort of as like a righty version of David Peterson with more velocity. Perhaps that could be the comp. I don't know how he is with holding runners and stuff. That's a big part of that. But I don't think he's a huge strikeout guy. I think he's like potential to go deep in games because he can get quick outs with his big mix. And then eventually he'll learn how to get strike three. Like more often. Like I don't see him freezing a lot of guys on purpose. I think that's going to become a bigger part of his game. I mean, it's going to have to. All right, so that was the pop out. Then Hellman is a single. So here's the second hit. Sinker. Oh, it's an infield hit. No chance for Swaggy. Then Josh Smith.
Isn't quite as tall as Taiwan. That's a jam shot to shallow.
Another weak contact hit. Not a good location for the sweeper there, but he's just pounding the zone, so you got to love that aspect of it. All right, so first and second, one out, and then he's going to get a first pitch double play out of Langford. Let's see where he gets this sinker. Wow, really good job. Weird contact. I think he was actually really far ahead of that. Oh no, he got totally blown up. It's weird because Wyatt Langford has those little short arms as part of what makes him really good at hitting. It's like he doesn't get jammed a lot, but he gets eaten up by this 96-mile-an-hour sinker. A little surprising because it's only 13.6 inches of run, but this ball got on Wyatt really good. So stick double play. I don't know what happened to Sproat here. Can we see that? Oh, he got his feet tangled. Oh, he tried to like block it with his bare hand. Don't do that or something. And then he landed weird and he's like, don't get hurt, unfold. And so he did. He did a good job to not get hurt here, actually. He was a little tied up in a weird spot. All right. Peterson called out on strikes. Ooh, slider.
What do you mean by he's a clever hitter? He takes
Yep, just bad take. See you later.
pitches.
Then another 3-pitch strikeout
1-2 to Jake
of Berger. So he was on his way to a potential immaculate inning here in the fourth.
6 pitches, 2
Berger chases that way off the plate. And then he doesn't get that, but then Josh Jung. Oh, sick play by Swaggy V right there. Damn, that was nice. That was really nice. All right, so he looked great in that fourth inning, fifth inning.
One of 3 hits against Sprode in the first 4 innings. That one bounced over the mound, and there's Lindor.
Change up, ground ball. And you can see the infield is on their toes because like he's getting them to put the ball in play. Like this is what it looks like when a contact pitcher's kind of rolling and it's coming out easy. Defense is on their toes. Lindor right there looked very quick to that ball, very confident, very alert. Obviously Vientos to the play, that stands out. So this is the type of thing that can work in your favor if you're working fast. All right, here's a hit. Got Jaime out on a changeup the first time. Second one, it's a changeup again, and this is just a classic case of it's probably a good pitch type to him, but now he's aware of it, and you threw one down the middle. So we've all done it. There's a double. Cody Freeman. I'm surprised the Rangers are making this much of a run with this offense. No Adolis Garcia, no Seager, no Semien, no Evan Carter. I know there's probably somebody else I'm forgetting. Here's another sinker. So he's been chewing righties up with sinkers. Yeah. I think that's his game at the moment. I mean, of course, things always change, but I think that's his game at the moment.
1-2. And that curveball's lined in left.
Good swing there. Just he wanted that below the zone, didn't quite get it. 1-2 curveball. Obviously, you want to get it down here. See where it ends up. Yeah, I mean, middle of the way. Not great. But again, it's like he's making the mistake when he's giving up hits. He's making the mistake of throwing almost too many strikes. You can live with that. You can live with that. And then Peterson. This one's actually maybe hit hard. Yeah, 106. Ooh, he got fortunate here, but good swing by Jock. And Berger, curveball. Pretty good swing. He's good at like going out and getting those balls. And then Josh Jung. Another ground ball. Lindor, very nice play. All right, so that's it. 6 innings, no runs. And look at all these at-bats that were like 3 pitches or less. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 of the 23 batters he faced were in and out of there 3 pitches or less. To me, that's a good sign for what he is right now, what his strategy is right now. So I'd definitely be encouraged by this outing. It's a big game. It's a big game too. First game at home, and he didn't budge. He looked good. All right, let's get back in the chat for a sec. McLean, what injuries took from Dustin May? Perhaps. I just think McLean is a dog. Word on the street, he's got that Scherzer, got a little Scherzer in him. Also, just something about being the two-way guy. He sees the matrix differently. He knows how hard he is to hit. He knows what to throw. So that's really advanced for his age. Samurai's asking me when Yes is getting me. I'm actually doing pre- and post-game for the Yankees Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday this week in the series against Minnesota at Minnesota. So check me there. At what point can you call preparation problem versus mental? Tanner Scott, for example, is the mental part of it. What's hurting him? Umpire got smoked by a Devers foul ball. Ooh, in the game that happened. Tanner Scott might be an actually interesting little tangent to go on because I know there's been some talk about whether he was tipping last night. So maybe we can just jump into that. He's had a miserable season. I think his quote was that it was like the worst year of his life, which is like nuts because he just signed with the Dodgers for like many, many millions of dollars. I don't think it was that bad of a year, regardless of how your ERA is right now. But maybe he was tipping. So all right, let's just watch all the pitches and just try to see. So this is a slider. That's where the hands are. Slider again, they look the same. Because I saw some still shots. Also, before I even let it go too far past, when you throw a 0-0 slider into a lefty and it's like not that close to him, but they do like the fake, oh, I'm going to get hit by this pitch thing like Jung-Hoo Lee does. As a pitcher that always used to like just, when you're in compete mode, you're like, don't do that shit. It used to just piss me off. But it's a good move by the batter because anything to fluster a pitcher is great, especially a hard-throwing reliever who like maybe can't throw strikes. All right, slider again here. Hands are obviously going to be in the same spot, so triple sliders. I'm waiting on a fastball. Slider again, ball. Slider again. So he's doing what Helsley probably should be doing right now.
That's the best pitch.
Slider again. Oh, he gets him. Or did they say that hit the ground? Oh, they're going to look at the ball? Are you kidding me? So then they say the ball hits the ground and then he walks him? You're snake bit at that point. Damn, also, like, he threw every pitch slider, 7 in a row. Then he intentionally walks Casey Schmidt, and then here's the grand slam. Slider. And then he finally throws a fastball. Is there anything different with the... All right, let's take some pictures. All right, so this is fastball. And this is slider. I can already tell you they're different. That's crazy. There's something with the angle of the glove. Well, for one thing, his hand is more visible here. Like, the skin is more visible here. Whereas over here, the wrist is a little more tucked. All right, I'm actually not 100% sure. But it's crazy because this is what ends up happening on this pitch. There was the first fastball he throws all inning. And it's above the zone. And it just gets absolutely clobbered for a game-ending grand slam. Worst case scenario. I mean, 1 run would suffice. You give up 1 run, it's 1 earned run. Give up a grand slam, it's 4 earned runs. Seems like the better choice here would have just been to just throw 4 balls and get clipped for a grand slam right here. That sucks. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. He just seems all over this fastball. And I know it's Patrick Bailey, and he's definitely guessing. Wow, what a bat flip, by the way. My God. Can we see that again? From a couple angles? My goodness. All right, whatever. That was a quick Tanner Scott tangent. All right, we got more stuff in the chat here. The Mets encapsulate the triumphs and defeats of the human spirit. This year is defeats, but it's going to make it all that much beautiful when they win well. Well said. Well said. Any takeaway from Duran's outing 2 nights ago to sweep the Mets, and what did he do differently? Yohan Duran, he looked amazing tonight. I watched him pitch again tonight. My takeaway from him is he's just like, even though he throws 102, he's like a real pitcher. He's got a real curveball and a real splitter. And he throws strikes. I think he has no walks with the Phillies. What app program we use? It's called the Dugout app, but it's private, so sorry. That's some Jedi lightsaber twirl bat flip. It was. I do feel bad for Tanner Scott. I do. I feel bad for anybody who's having like one of those years or times in pitching or in hitting or whatever in baseball where it's just not going your way because it's so damn hard. I mean, you're throwing 97 mile an hour pitches with like 120 stuff plus grade values above the zone on a 0-1 count or something, and the guy's clobbering a grand slam off that. Like, it just doesn't compute. It doesn't compute, but they have to get hits at some point, and they're damn good, and sometimes they do. You know, sometimes they do get the hits. All right, we need to do a little reload here. So it's still 4-3 in that Giants-Dodgers game. Cardinals extended the lead. Arizona just blew the doors off Minnesota in the top of the 10th. Okay, what else happened today? Yankees, Red Sox, that was a pretty fun one. Bubba Chandler had a really good outing. The first time he's thrown legitimately really, really well. I think I want to watch that at some point. Tampa Bay made a nice comeback. I think there was a sick home run by Junior Caminero. Also, I think a lot of people have seen that home run that Anthony Rizzo caught. That's crazy. So we'll go over to that. So that must have been pretty early in the game. Yeah, Moises Ballesteros. This is his first career homer. This guy's a big prospect, big time hitter. Catching prospect, but big time hitter, big time power. And dude, he hits it right to Anthony Rizzo, who's like literally like, they're going to show him in the crowd. There he is, which is wild. And if we had a better replay angle, maybe it'd be on the next batter, but he had it in his hand. It hit skin. And Rizzo caught everything at first base, but I guess it's a little different out there in the bleachers. But yeah, it's crazy. There he is right there. So wild. Wearing his own jersey. On the day he gets officially retires as a Cub and all that. That's freaking wild. Wild stuff happens. Anyway, there was a huge home run in this game by this guy, Junior Caminero. He's been unbelievable. 43 home runs? You kidding me? All right, let's watch this at bat versus Porter Hodge. He's got a really good sweeper. So it looks like he maybe was hunting it, but he's way under this first one. Porter Hodge, 7-2 extension, 86 mile an hour sweepers. This is a very fast left turn. But Junior takes a freaking gangster hack first pitch. Foul ball. Sticks with the sweeper again. Throws it even higher. So he's got him to swing at 2 top of the zone sweepers, 1 at the top, 1 above the zone. That's very, very abnormal. Do you stick with it again? Wow, he goes 98. If he goes 98 up and Junior covers it, that would be very impressive. All right, let's see. Well, it's not up that much, but my God. He just, talk about another guy. It sounds like a gunshot coming off the bat. 105-2, Junior Caminero. This guy's 22 years old. 22. He's got 43 homers. He's hitting 0-2 homers off 98 mile an hour fastballs after 2 sweepers dead central at Wrigley. With the shades on. That's freaking awesome. Oh. It looks like his bat's heavy, too. Like a heavy, heavy bat. Rizzo said that's why I'm retired after dropping the ball. I mean, that's funny. A little self-deprecation. EJ, I think, here in the chat's talking about Yohan Duran, Phillies. Yeah, he has 0 walks as a Philly. Is it possible the Mets just used the traject machine or something like it to get a feel for seeing his splinker? You can't give them too much credit in that game. Like, Pete hit like a grounder, like a 20-hopper up the middle, right, to start off that inning. I mean, you're going to give up runs somehow. It's going to be mostly ground balls, seeing eye ground balls. So that's the problem with the splinker is it's like, it's a super sinker. Like, you're going to get ground balls. Oh, somebody sent me an overlay of Scott. Nothing. So I was dead wrong when I said I thought I saw something right away. But I don't know. It just seems like he's tipping. Anyway, I'm all over the place. Yeah, Cameron Arrow, 100th percentile bat speed. He's unreal. He also has hit into a silly amount of double plays. I think he might be headed for the all-time record. This is a double play. Brad Keller. I really think, how do I look that up? Is that a stat on reference? Double plays. Junior Caminero. Ground, yeah, it is. GIDP, where is that? It's going to be somewhere in here. Double plays grounded into 2025 AL. He's first. Damn it. What the hell was that? I didn't want to go to this shit. These people, man. You click one button, double plays grounded into. Okay, here's the other people. Dude, this is a crazy stat. Cameron Arrow's hitting to 30 double plays, and Altuve's hitting to 19, and he's in second. These are also generally slow right-handed hitters. Not Soderstrom, but everybody else. I guess Rice. They're just slow guys. Like, of course, Salvador Perez, you know, is going to hit into a lot of double plays. He's just not fast. Anyway. All right, we got some more stuff in the chat before we figure out where to go next. Watching. Well, I did. Jung Z. I didn't do an official watching on Junior Caminero. Maybe I will at the end of the year. But on one stream, I watched him hit like 15 balls over 112, and I just think it's amazing because he has a lot going on with that load, and I feel like most of the guys that execute squaring up the ball with that much bat speed, they don't have as much going on with their load. So it's impressive that he can do that. Like, it's very Manny Ramirez-esque. Like, Manny almost had, or Gary Sheffield or Manny Ramirez, they almost had to do something to like slow themselves down. Like, that's how fast they were. So they had to like calibrate in the opposite direction of everybody else, which is kind of crazy. All right, we got a silly question in the chat. But when a pitcher's tipping, is it most often the position of the glove, hands in the glove the hitters are looking at, or is there anything else in one's body language or delivery? There are so many ways to tip. I have a glove over there. Hold on one sec. All right, so there are many ways to tip pitches. So, like, say we're out of the stretch, like, and so one thing you could do is glove height, like, and guys will mess this up all the time. Like, you'll be here on a fastball, you'll be here on a slider, and that seems super obvious now because I'm showing you, but sometimes it takes a second to pick up on something like that, or you'd be like more open on a pitch because you're grabbing your changeup, or more closed when you're grabbing your fastball, so they'd see that, like a flare. Or there'd be something in like in this wrist angle, like, oh, I need to like knuckle from my curveball, so now my wrist is like this, but then when I throw my fastball, my wrist is like this. So that's something that could happen. And like, there's literally a million different ways. Like, out of the windup, you know, you could be like tilted, you could be a little lower, and there's all different things that they'd be reading off of your body. Like, oh, if you can read, like, if a guy had his hands here, they'd be like, oh, if you can read the CK on his shirt, then it's fastball, and if it's higher, it's not. So it's a lot of things with glove. Guys will also do things with even with their breathing. Like, guys take deep breaths and then deliver the pitch. Some guys do it differently on breaking balls than fastballs or changeups or whatever. Another way that people tip all the time is like they hold the ball in their hand like in a fastball grip, and then like when they come set, they obviously don't change the grip, so everybody knows it's a fastball and they can see it, or they start changing the grip on the way up. So they go to like a changeup, and then everybody's like, okay, he's not throwing a fastball. So the workaround with that is like you start with a changeup, right? And then no matter what, you have to move the pitch. And if you're still throwing a changeup, you have to do like a fake out. Or what, like, I've seen Sergio Romo do this, or a lot of other guys, they like start with like a knuckleball because you're not going to throw a knuckleball. And then no matter what, you have to do something in your glove to get your grip. So it's like impossible to differentiate that. I knew guys, like I had a tip at one point in my career where like if the home plate was over here and I was throwing a slider, I would look at home. But when I was throwing a fastball, I would come up and I would look at third and then I would look at home. I kind of caught myself doing it. But anyway, point is, there's a million ways to tip. Guys used to do it with their finger out of their glove. Like sometimes guys would like have their finger up on a breaking ball or down on a fastball. So it's really just anything they can find. And now they're literally using machines. The analysts are using machines to try to find differences. And then they hone in on those and see if they can catch them. And sometimes they can catch them from the box. Sometimes they can catch them from second or from the base coaches or really anywhere. But it's crazy. It really is. They've gotten so advanced with it. All right, we got a good question here from Stefan. Out of the young pitchers, who do you like the most? I assume you're talking about all the guys that have just debuted recently this year. McLean, for me, hands down. There's a lot of guys with incredible velocity and incredible stuff. Like Mizorowski stuff, legitimately, we've never seen it before on some level. Chase Burns, slider, changeup, and fastball are all ridiculously electric. Tong's fastball shape is special. But I don't think any of these guys are really complete pitchers yet. But McLean already looks like one, which is wild to me. And there's others. Like Cade Horton's been really, really good. But even compared to McLean, I don't think he holds up. I really don't. And then I'm excited to see this Savage guy who just got called up for Toronto. I think he's going to be working in a relief role maybe. But he's supposed to be a big-time starting prospect, so... All right, let's check back in on that Dodger game. I heard we got in the chat a Teo 2-run double. All right, so Dodgers Giants. Oh, so my guy Buto's in the game now. It's not Webby anymore. All right, so looks like Webby finished up okay. He didn't make it through 5 though. Wow. And then Buto came in, and Buto got a hit off of. Man, we don't have that. We can't watch it all yet, but we can watch it from this angle. So this is obviously a big spot. I think there's bases loaded here, right? Because he's throwing out of the windups. Maybe it's either second and third or bases loaded. He gets ahead 0-2. It's a pretty good slider here from Jose. I was a little surprised the Mets wanted to give him up just because he's like the perfect type of arm to like pitch multiple innings, but he can also do leverage work. I think Jose was a good piece for us, honestly. I'm surprised they gave him up. I know they got Rogers, but damn, so slider, fastball. This pitch looks up and in. Yeah, it was bases loaded. Oh my God. You think PCA catches that standing up? Who is that out there? Does Lee play center? I thought the center fielder had a beat on this ball the whole way from my vantage point. I don't know. It's probably pretty small on your screen. You probably can't see the ball that good, but man, I thought he had a beat on that. PCA catches that standing up in his back pocket. Him and Rafaela for sure. All right, so that's what's going on there. In the Dodger game, Kershaw, I was going to say, there's no way Kershaw made it far. 3 innings. He didn't really have it going today. I don't want to harp on it too much, but if you pay attention in the broadcast camera, I mean, of course, they're going to show his stats. They were doing, what's the first hit? They were doing finger signs with him, which I thought was interesting. Yeah, I guess we're not going to get any signage. But yeah, uncharacteristic with the walks. He's just not a guy who beats himself. So this is one of those nights. Clayton's stats versus the Giants are actually outrageous, especially in this ballpark. So I always expect him to do great against the Giants, no matter what. But that was not the case today. He just didn't have it, you know. You can see it sometimes. He's been pitching well. Dodgers starters in general have been awesome. Let me see something crazy. Pitching career splits for Kershaw, and we'll go all the way down to like by opponent. So versus San Fran coming into tonight, he was 27-16 with a 2.00 ERA, 404 innings versus the Giants. with a .915 whip, which is sick. And then in AT&T ballpark, I think it's even better. Yes, he had 28 starts, 30 games, 28 starts coming into tonight in that ballpark and had a 1.69 ERA and basically 200 innings, 197 innings. So crazy, but he didn't have it tonight. It happens. All right, what else do we want to see? What else do we want to look at? We got some good stuff in the chat. I swear Nate Eovaldi used to grunt differently on a fastball than he did on a curve. I think Greinke too. I think Greinke would over-exaggerate the grunts sometimes. Jake Peavy was another one. They would kind of try to sell things with their grunts. You know? Roger Clemens would always use a different brand new glove for his start, so it was firmer and harder to tighten, so he wouldn't tip his pitches. Yeah, so people were always taking measures to kind of combat this. And teams, teams will slip things in your locker, or like they'll come up to you and have a meeting with you and show you on video what you're doing. You know? I think it would be really cool. I think it would be really cool. That was a text message I was responding to. Kind of crazy. Do you know of any pitchers who tried to bluff tips? I mean, I tried to a little bit, and a lot of guys do it where that scenario where, we'll go back to here again. That scenario where, like, you have a changeup already gripped, and then you want to throw a changeup. So on all the other pitches, you're clearly getting in the mitt and you're changing what you're doing. So you see my hands moving. But like if I want to throw a changeup, I already have the grip, so I'd have to like do something like that. But that's like a bluff move, but like it's hard to look natural like that. The thing that I really gave away was pickoffs. I could not keep a straight face. I don't know how people do it. I don't know how people sell it like they do, but I always had a hard time with that. All right, let me go to my notes. Let me see. I had so much stuff written down. Yankees, Phillies, Messick, Bubba Chandler. Oh, there was a sick Christian Walker heads-up double play. Can we watch that for a second? Ooh, there's a Max Fried pickoff too. That sounds great. We'll dive into that in a sec. So let's watch two baseball plays, like just baseball plays. All right, the first one is in that Astros-Braves game. So let me go over to that real quick. I know I say real quick a lot, but sorry. Braves, Astros. This was earlier today. All right, so let me bring this back over here. It was Drake Baldwin hitting, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, okay, this play right here. All right, so first we'll just watch it here, and then we'll think about it for a sec, because it's really smart by Christian Walker. Man on first, ground ball to him. The runner just doesn't move. Acuna just decides not to run, and instead of throwing and making it like more complicated, he just stands there and actually chases Ronnie back to the bag in a way and just beats the runner there, and now it's a double play. Like once he's on the bag, he just holds on both. Gets the double play. Nasty play. Weird that Acuna didn't try to run. I don't know what he was really doing. He just froze. I guess he was trying to get him to make the throw. Or to go back to the bag and create a rundown or something. I don't really know. But this was a pretty savvy play and a pretty patient play. Very Nikola Jokic-like, if you want to compare sports, by Christian Walker. He wasn't tricked. He was like, oh, I have a double play here. I'll just take it. So I want to point that one out. That one's good. All right, let's go over to that Yankee Red Sox game. Jazz Chisholm had a big night tonight. Yankees have won the first two in this series. All right, somebody's going to have to help me out. When did this Max Fried pickoff occur? Can we get a Tyler Rogers pitch breakdown sometime? Oh, we have that. That's on a previous stream, probably right around the trade deadline, because I was like, man, this guy throws a freaking underhand. So that's in there. Oh, in general, Max Fried, yeah, he's got a great pickoff move. He does. It's probably a balk. Most of these lefties get away with it. I wish I was lefty so bad for this reason alone, just to have a chance to stymie the running game. I mean, dude, that would have been so much better. Got hot in here. I just think Max is like one of the most athletic pitchers in the game, and he does all the little things well. Like he fields his position great. We saw him pounce on those 2 bunts the last time we watched him pitch against Houston. He used to be a good hitter. I think he won a Silver Slugger as a hitter. His game is like just very artistic out there. He's very smart. We started talking pitching the other night when I was at charity event for the Rodons. But then, of course, we got interrupted like 10 seconds in. But he was feeling good, so not surprised he threw well today. All right, with a pitch like a sweeper that relies on seam-shifted movement, is there any major reason why a guy like Kirkerings would keep losing more and more movement each year? That's weird. That's a great question, EJ. Let's pause and go take a look at that. This is why we do this, because that's funny to even notice. Orion Kirkering. I remember he made his debut against the Mets 2 or 3 years ago. And from the first game, when I was watching him on like this type of iPad, I was like, oh, look at this sweeper. Thing's ridiculous. All right, so let's go look at his movement per year on the sweeper. So, wow, this year he's down to 13.8 on the horizontal. Last year he was at 16.2 and it was 18.6. That is bizarre, truly bizarre. He's throwing it harder each year, but it's not enough to explain that. So there's something in the way he's releasing it. All right, where's his arm angle? Arm angle's identical every year. Okay. Let's go look at the active spin on his sweeper each year and the spin based. So 60% active spin in 2023, and it's gone way down since then. So it's not coming out as clean anymore. He's getting a little too much gyro on it. See, 740. So, okay. So this is important. This was something that I used to key in as a pitcher. When I go over here and look at this chart, it's got 2 numbers on it, spin based and observed. Spin based kind of tells you how you are releasing it, but observed is telling you what the actual movement is showing, like they think you released it there. Basically meaning what the seam effect was. So like a lot of times you'll see, it's a very good example here, the sinker, it says 1:30, but it's observed at 2 o'clock, which means the axis pointed towards 2 on the clock, whereas his 4-seam fastball also comes out at 1:30. I know I'm jumping around here, but the top 2 pitches are fastballs. The top one's 1:30, and the second one's 1:30. The top one's the 4-seam, and the bottom one's the 2-seam. But the top one, because it's a 4-seam and it's spinning somewhat like this, it's observed at 1:15. So it actually kicked back a little bit more towards the 0 line than one would expect with a 1:30 release. And the sinker went the other way. The sinker moved 30 degrees, 30 additional degrees in the other direction of spin axis, or at least on the clock. So it's not degrees, I guess that would be minutes. But so the active spin's gone way down. So clearly he needs to get back to throwing the ball at a 745 release. So something is happening with his wrist action that's causing, or a grip or a release, or something's going on. It's a grip or it's a release, but it's screwing it up. So what's happening is, instead of the ball coming out, all right, we got to go back to the solo shot. So like sweeper grip, right? When I throw it, it doesn't actually spin perfectly like this. It spins a little bit nose down like this, and then the seams kind of keep it up and bring it across. But you can see a lot of the movement is this type of movement, which is like, this is still, it's not gyroscopic, it's side spin, right? But as soon as you add a little bit of element of gyro spin on this ball, it's going to kill the overall movement and the ability to go left. So what's probably happening is he's not getting it in the exact right spot. So he was at 745, and so he's getting a little too high. And now when he's going to spin it, it's not coming out with a lot of side spin. It's coming out with a touch more gyro spin. That's my guess. And it's killing it. So this is kind of a crazy... I don't know if I demonstrated that very well, but bottom line is you can see the tail and the active spin numbers here. If you look at the sweeper, it was at 54. It was at 60 when he first came up, when it was electric. That pitch had something like 18 inches of horizontal break on it at 86 miles an hour. Then last year, And I wasn't even aware of this. It dropped about 2.5 inches of break down to like 16 inches. And you can see the active spin dropped off by 6 percentage points. And then this year it got way worse. This year it went down an additional 8 percentage points. So he is throwing it harder. I don't think that the stuff models are going to like that. I think they're going to prefer the total movement. And this is only one stuff model. Certainly isn't mine. I mean, the Phillies certainly have their own. But I'm curious now. We're down this rabbit hole, so we're going to go the whole way. Interestingly enough, this model liked his slider just as much now as it did his rookie year, even though it has way less movement, and actually liked it better last year. So that's for what that's worth. And then Pitch Bot, which is a different, actually likes the slider more now. So clearly, this is why you can't trust these metrics. Why would it be better to throw a pitch with less break at the same speed? Why? This is like you're giving into the maybe it's better for Chase. Did his chase rate go up? Because sometimes a shorter breaking ball is better for chase. Let's see. We are so far down the rabbit hole right here. No, the chase got worse. The whiff got worse. This is overall, but let me go back. Let me just go to the sweeper. I mean, they're hitting it better this year. Barely. I mean, it's about the same. It's performing about the same. Whiff percentage is down, though. Whiff percentage is down. 40% whiff in 23 in the small sample. 31% last year, 24% this year. So that's a big deal. You would have thought the whiff would have gone up if the pitch model liked it. So it's all very confusing. I don't really understand this. I think this makes no sense. But thanks for that question. Really, really weird case there. Really weird case there. There's some more commentary on that. Yeah, the stuff velo model trade-off. I do think that was a good idea. To your credit, Philip, for thinking that. I guess better tunnel in theory. I don't know. I'm confused by this big time. I don't think. I'd rather have more movement at the same speed. I think that would help me get better contact results. What kind of year is he having overall? I thought pretty good, right? Yeah, 296, 63 games. He's doing his thing. He's such a solid reliever. He throws hard. He's got the 2 fastballs. JT calls a good game for him back there. I never liked him in the game against us. We started to figure him out a little bit last year because you just see him so much, but I never liked him in the game against us. He's good. I think he might. I mean, they have so much technology now. They would have fixed it. So it's like it must be intentional, or there's some reasoning for this. Trying to achieve something. I'd have to. Obviously, Caleb Cotham is the pitching guy over there, and he's the man. So maybe he knows something. But that's beyond my understanding. Just poking through the numbers. We got a first base thing. First base talk about that play earlier. It's good that he tagged him before stepping on the bag. Wouldn't the order matter? Yeah, the order mattered. If he tags the bag first, then the other runner's safe because now he's back on the bag, right? If he tags the bag, it negates the need for him to go to second. He's possibly safe on first. I think that's right. We might have to get my dad in here. I finally got a guest. I got the ability to bring guests in. I figured that out today, so we're going to be doing that very shortly. I have a fun one. I think that's going to be the first. We've been texting back and forth, so I'm excited about that. That's not the point, but the point is maybe get my dad in here, the umpire, the rules expert. All right, who do you steal bases on, the pitcher or the catcher? It's a combination. It's mostly the pitcher. Occasionally the catcher is a factor. That's why you have to have a good throwing arm now. But yeah, it's mostly the pitcher. Mostly me. Okay, we talked about the sweeper grip. Underrated rookie pitcher we've watched this year. Got to be Hurston Waldrop, right? He's been unbelievable, Goose Grease. His numbers are outstanding, and I don't think anybody saw that coming. I think he had actually been looked at as like a prospect who his shine had faded off a little bit. Ooh, the juice ball of 2018 and 2019. Man, this chat's electric tonight. Thanks, Dan O'Mac. Great question. All right, maybe I'll talk about that just for a moment. All right, so 2019 especially, because those are my 2018, 2019, those are my two best years. But 2019 especially, it was very obvious that the ball was flying, but it also really helped carry on pitches as well. So if you look at the guys that destroyed the league in 2019 on the mound, think Garrett Cole with the sticky stuff. Think Justin Verlander with the sticky stuff. Think those two guys, were 300 strikeout machines. Everybody we had in our bullpen that threw hard. If you had a little extra, the balls were carrying better. So in all planes of like true backspin or side spin, the balls were carrying better. If I watch video from 19, my pitches are a little different. My sinker played different. I threw it more up in the zone, had like more of a side effect to it. And I do think guys who could really backspin the ball, guys who had really good efficiency, they could keep the ball above barrels. And hitters hadn't figured out yet really how to combat that high fastball at the same level. But the trade-off was there was more dingers, way more dingers. I mean, the Yankees team I was on was like ridiculous, like 300 and something dingers. And then the Bomba squad from the Twins, they were like some million freaking dingers. But I didn't notice it as much in 18 just because in Colorado everything felt juiced. But yeah, it's just like blowing a lot of sinkers by guys up top, which is weird. And the sweeper was different those years too. I actually felt like those years, the sweeper had more of like a late break. Like I would rip it out of my hand and then it would kind of like stop and then go left. And instead of just like kind of just like going generally left the whole time, which is the way I felt about it the last few years, why I was kind of not as thrilled about it anymore. All right, enough talk about me and about that year. All right, we got Fried in the thing. I would like to watch a little bit of this Yankee stuff in a second. Let me just make sure. Just want to look a little bit. So Wafflox has a question in the chat here about that Orioles game. We watched it. I didn't think Cano necessarily threw that badly, to answer your question, Wafflox. It's a ground ball approach. 2 balls that were hit that would have been game-ending double plays that found holes. But that's the problem with having him as your closer. And that's the reason why I've never been as high on Cano as other guys. He's a good piece. I'd like to have him. I'd like to have him be my double play, get out of jail free card. He's really nasty. He's got big cojones, but at the same time, it's all ground balls. So at some point, the luck monster is going to get you. Brian Wu, 10 strikeouts. How much proprietary stuff do teams let you get into? Great question, Philip. All of it when you're on the team. Not maybe there's some stuff they don't show you, but I was in all the databases all the time. I don't know. It used to be depressing. They just make your stuff seem so bad when you look at like their metrics on everything. Expected this, expected that. It just very homogenizes all the pitchers with some of the teams I was with, and it just, I don't know, it just frustrated me a lot looking at it sometimes, looking at my own stuff. But I used to like to look at their opinions on strategy and pitch selection and stuff, even though some of it led me the wrong direction. You always learn from it. Some of it led me in the right direction over the years. Depends on the team. All right. Yeah, rough game for the Red Sox. Sorry, Goose Grease. All right, I just want to watch a couple things from this game. So Bregman clips Fried here. Let's watch this at bat. This was how they got on the board. Sinker away. I want to watch because the Red Sox got back in this one a little bit. That was a little bit of a dangerous pitch. The other thing I love about Fried is the ability to go 97. Like, I like it. It doesn't seem like he is that type of pitcher, but it's absolutely in there. 96, 97. Oh my God, Pesky's pull. 91.2 mile-an-hour homer. Well, sometimes it's better to be accurate. Yeah, Max is like, well, he hit the Pesky's pull. I used to freak out about that every time I give up a fly ball over there. I never liked that. And then this was a home run, Jarren Duran off of Fernando Cruz. Oh, the rare slider. Now he's going to go to the split. So he's definitely sitting on split. Everybody's in the world sitting on split now. Yeah, really good swing there. Just a little too high with the split. And then Bednar did his thing. Now for the Yankees, it was a couple big swings by the lefties. Bayo, who has actually been dominant versus the Yankees this year up until this start. I've always wondered how consistently he'll be able to get out the good teams with the good lefties. You know, I'm not a big believer in cutters for strikes all day long to lefties if you don't have an elite cutter, and I don't think his is that great. The changeup and the sinker are both excellent, but he's going to have to command them really, really well. Throw a lot of inside pitches. He's going to have to utilize the 4. And the breaking balls, you got to spot it. So, like, when he's on, he can do it. He can work through it. But at the same time, I've wondered if guys see him enough, especially left-handed hitters, can they mount big rallies off of him? And this was actually a little bit of a fortunate rally here because of this hit. I mean, this is as shitty a hit as you can give up, 58 miles an hour. But then Jazz gets a legitimate hit here. So let's watch this at bat. Makes it 4-0. Up away. Yeah, Kenley's cutter was the only one I trusted. Like David Robertson, Kenley Jansen, Mariano Rivera, those cutters are different. See, there's that changeup, that 2-0 changeup. That's Bayo's equalizer. Really good pitch. All right, so he gets himself to a 3-1 count, and he's going to get a cutter. Again, I don't like cutters when you have to throw them for strikes. You know, I've experienced this too much, and every analyst I talk to, it's like they don't watch the games. It's like they're just like, what? No, cutter has good whiff rate. Cutter will bridge you to this other pitch. I'm like, yeah, it'll bridge you to giving up freaking dingers over the fence if you have to throw them for strikes behind the count. Whitlock, I love watching my guy Whitlock pitch. Single, ground out, line out, single, ground rule double, strikeout. Okay, and then Bellinger got a big clutch hit off of Chapman, so let's watch this at bat. This extended the lead and kind of put the game to bed. So now Chapman's, all of a sudden he's giving up some hits. But, you know, you're due. You're due to give up some hits. Like, as great as he's been, some balls are going to fall in. 0-2 count. Spits on the first one.
Right by everyone. That caroms away. Judge will move up to 6-2 away.
Wild pitch. That's a really good take there. Cody did a good job not swinging at this. He started triggering on this. This ball comes out middle in. Then on 3-2, it's going to be another slider.
3-2 coming. Just gets it.
Oops, stays alive.
3-2.
Really good pitch there. This is a great at bat. Left on left
3-2 again.
versus the missile.
Swing popped up and fouled back out of play.
And then he's finally going to get him on this fastball. The only way you're hitting that ball is by going the other way. Really good swing, particularly in Fenway. And that was a huge insurance run for the Yankees. That really put the game to bed. Bednar came in, had a 7-pitch ninth. Line out, ground out, fly out. So Yankees are in the driver's seat for sure. Fried did a nice job in this one. I mean, Max Fried's approach today, 21 curveballs, 20 changeups, 20 cutters, 19 sinkers, 17 four-seamers, 7 sweepers, 1 slider. Like, just flip a coin. You don't know what's coming. Roll the dice. You don't know. And the velo was up, which is a great sign as we headed to October or down like late in September here. It's going to have a couple more huge starts here to finish out the year. And look at that. Look at the velos. 2.9 miles an hour up on changeup, 2 miles an hour up on cutter. 1.5 up on four-seam. He averaged 97.2 on his four-seam today. That's very encouraging this late in the year, or it's scary. It's one or the other, but I think encouraging. I definitely think encouraging. You know, he spreads the whiffs around. He's a tough guy to get a beat on. He's got a very interesting pitch mix, and he's really good. That was a great signing by the Yankees. I'm surprised how quickly that went down. I thought every team was going to be in on him. Frankly, I'm a little surprised. Not surprised knowing now that this is not a David Stearns thing, but I'm surprised that the Mets didn't shop in the Max Fried aisle this past offseason at all. Like zero. So the Giants have life. Bailey hits 2-run double. So Bailey's getting hits all of a sudden. 9-7 Dodgers. Wow, that game's crazy. Bayo had command issues. I mean, yeah, that's the thing. Like, you're going to be pitching you're going to do a nibble approach when you're getting lineup stacked with lefties against you and you have Bayo's mix. Like, look at the mix today. 28 cutters. Again, I'm not on that plan. 23 changeups, elite changeup. By all means. 20 sinkers, great sinker. 16 fours and 5 sweepers. And look at this. He only threw 18 pitches versus righties on the day. 74 versus lefties. So it's just a lot. I just think it's a lot. It's a lot. You'd like to see a better breaking ball attack. There's no curveball in there, only 5 sweepers, so everything's kind of a tunnel. 4 seam, sinker, changeup, and cutter all coming out of tunnels. You're going to have to really, really locate that game, or you're going to run into some barrels. And that's what he did a little bit today. And also, just nibbling, a lot of Daisuke Matsuzaka pitching, nibble, nibble, nibble. Teams be clutching their pocketbooks. Well, the Mets didn't clutch their pocketbook, to be fair. They gave Juan Soto just a ridiculous amount of money. But, yeah, I just thought, I thought Max Fried was the guy this offseason. I had him as number 1 on my board. I mean, over Corbin Burns. Easy to say now, but I always felt that way. I love lefties. I love the little things that Fried does. I love everything about him. Red Sox love cutters. I know. I just think cutters, now that everybody has one, how are you going to make your cutter better? It's got to either be super hard or have crazy movement. And once you have crazy movement, is it really a cutter anymore? So it's got to be super hard. So it's like, okay, maybe throw a cutter if it's like 94. Or you throw it just for chase. I don't know. I have different philosophies than a lot of these teams on some of this stuff. I think you can't just force feed it all in there. Fried and Rodon pitching as well as they have has been huge without Cole. Imagine if they had Garrett this year. Then I think the Yankees would be in the driver's seat. If they had those 3 dudes humming right now. I mean, I know Schlittler, but he's no Garrett Cole. I fell in love with the cutter after seeing Verlander's. Verlander, did he just start throwing a cutter? He had a great start last night. Yeah, no cutter. I'd bet if we had StatCast data, Mario's cutter would have like 17 IVB. That's how I feel about it too. It'd be very if you look at Kenley, the 2 best cutters and the 2 of the best relief pitchers of my generation, Kenley and David Robertson. I mean, look at this freaking demon thing. It's way up here and way over there. That's his 4-seam. That's insane. So we're looking at, even on this year, we're looking at a 18.8 vertical break on his cutter with 2.4 going left. That's such a unique pitch. And in the past, it used to be a lot bigger. Like, look at last year, 17.5, but 6 inches of glove. That's an alien pitch. That's an absolute alien pitch. Him, and I bet Mariano's maybe not quite as lifty, but I don't know. All the hitters told me that faced Mo, that faced Mariano, that the biggest thing about him was you couldn't see the movement in the pitch. Like, you thought you were swinging at something that had like a set trajectory to the plate, and then by the time you swung, it wasn't there anymore. So very, very impressive. Wow, it's 9-7 in the 5th inning of that Dodger game. Dodger Giants. Athletics. So wait, did Wu start tonight for the Mariners? Yeah, he did. He's already got 10 punchies through 5. This guy's a freak. His fastball's so good. I remember reading that Fried's injury history was putting teams off, plus the Yankees gave him such a long contract. That's going to dissuade other teams. No, I get it. I just think he's just like... I was impressed that the Yankees had him as their target because I was like, ooh, I freaking agree. He's just different than the other guys. Like more... I don't know. There's something about him that makes me feel... just always trust what he's doing out there. Like, he's got other ways to get outs, like the pickoff and the fielding, and he can pitch to contact some games. He can get his strikeouts. He's got a million different pitches. He's left-handed. He's smart. So much stuff. Competitive. All right, maybe they're adding the cutter to boost pitch mix, Alex says. What if the analyst thinks making batters guess the pitch is better than a high-quality pitch? Yes, that is what they're doing. They are adding more pitches to the mix. That was my strategy too. Always have more weapons. There's always times where you're going to be able to use them, and a bigger mix generally is harder to catch on to you, right? You have more options. I just think in this game with Bello that we looked at, he threw 27 cutters as his primary pitch. I think if you let the cutter drive the bus versus a lefty rather than be a complementary pitch, it has to be elite, and his it's just not elite. So, yep, someone get the trainer. Ottavino's back is tightening up. My neck too. The streaming life is no joke. Muncie's okay. Good to know. All right, Wu. Okay, let's go watch Wu strike some dudes out. So who are they playing? The A's? No, they're not playing the A's. That's the Reds. Sorry. Oh, the Angels, the other team with the A. My wife sometimes would say that she's like, the A's or the Angels? Like she could never get those two straight. I'm like, no, they're not the same team. Yes, they're both from California. All right, Brian Wu. Ooh, Mike Trout. High heater. Mike Trout in the leadoff spot, huh?
1995.
Freaking Dorsing Mike Trout. I got one strikeout on Mike Trout, but it was a called strike 3, and it wasn't a strike. So, do I really want to count it? I don't know.
Everyone please wait.
All right, now a sweeper here to Taylor Ward.
Swing and a miss for strike 3.
Nasty. And he had a little pizzazz off the mound here. Oh. His streak of 6 innings is also amazing. All right, here's the home run he gives up. Joe Adele's had a quietly pretty damn good season power-wise. Man, first pitch gyro slider just destroyed. Back into one of the coolest places in any ballpark. That bar area back there in Seattle. Super cool. And the whole area, like this whole area over here is freaking awesome. And then over here is where the bullpens are. And like back there, like you can get heckled and like talk to fans and stuff. It's great. Love it. Love it, love it. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, so then a walk and then a strikeout of Logan Davidson. It's going to be a slider. I'm surprised they're not all fastballs up.
2-2.
Oh, that's a really sharp breaking ball. Nice pitch. That will tunnel really well off of a fastball in. Who's Denzer Guzman? There's so many dudes that are playing in the big leagues right now for the first time that I need to get familiar with. Denzer Guzman. Oh, dude, was this guy... Was this the shortstop for the... in winter ball? Let me look that up.
Oh, that was
Single. Oh, Mike Trout again. Let's just watch this whole Mike Trout at bat while I look up Denzer Guzman. 97 up. 96 up. 97 up. I mean, he's just going to pound for 4 seams up at Mike Trout. Ooh, that's that Mike Trout strike zone. So 4 in a row. He just says you can't hit my fastball. And he's right. That's crazy. Yeah, this is the dude, Denzer Guzman. I seen this guy in winter ball. That's great. What do I know? Thought I didn't see him. Saw him already. All right, Yohan Moncada, fastball up. Smell ya. Brandon Wu just has like the perfect combination of all the layers of a high spin 4-seam. It's like good ride, good extension, low release, good velocity, smoothness, and then the ball jumps. Like literally all of it. And now he's going to get Joe Adele with the sweeper. Nice pitch. So he's well on his way to throwing another 6 innings and continuing his streak. Another nice sweeper right off the edge there. Christian Moore. Yep, Denzer Guzman again. 4-seam heater. Yep, that's a different heater, son. Sebastian Rivera. Oh, the sweeper coming.
another 1-2. He froze him. A career.
And he's still going. We are in the 5th inning. I don't know. Maybe he'll get taken out. He's got 85 pitches. He needs to keep his streak going. Was there anything else to watch from this game while we're here? Philip Denny, isn't the book on Trout middle 4-seams? Not middle. It's just like above medium height in the zone to slightly above the zone. That's the spot. Because his swing is it's consistently the same way. He only has that one bat path, really. Now, when he's really hot, he can sort of get to it. But for the most part, no. But that's why everything in the bottom half of the zone is a no-fly zone. Everything. Because it'll just be pummeled. Especially a couple years ago. I know they're different pitchers, but how much does pitch mix affecting guys like McLean versus Tong? McLean has way more pitches, but Tong's fastball is elite. Well, I think you've already seen the difference, like in the early going, in terms of who these two pitchers are right now, Tong and McLean. They're just in different places in their career. Tong is trying to figure out how to make what he does elite at the big league level, and it was elite at the minor league level, but you have to refigure it out at the big league level. He's got the elite four seam with the really weird Vulcan change that's like slow, plays off that, and then the big curveball. So it's an interesting mix, not really built for any type of contact except for pop-ups. And teams are going to do a better job, much better job on that fastball in the big leagues than they did in the minors. And he doesn't have a second variation at the same speed. So he doesn't have like a sinker, he doesn't have like a cutter. Guys are going to be able to figure out that fastball a little bit quicker at the big leagues because they have like a team approach, the traject, the ability that they've seen other 20 balls, they've seen other special fastballs. They have at least the equipment to attack it. Whereas McLean, they have all the same equipment. The difference is he's keeping them guessing the whole time. They can't anticipate against him, and he's playing swings. He's playing things off of what he's reading on swings and takes and using his misses and doing all the little things that make a guy elite right away. So he's just playing on a different level right now, and Tong can get there. He just has to get more and more reps. But I think McLean has such a leg up because he was hitting recently, so that's my opinion. A little bit there. Skeens tried adding a cutter, but his arm slot made it a meatball. Agreed. Yeah, sorry, Cygnus, but Verlander's got nasty shit. He's just not really a cutter pitcher. Nasty shit. Curveball, changeup, slider at one point. I mean, still, fastball, changeup at one point, and then he kind of bringing it back now. Seattle's ballpark is awesome. I want to make it out there. It is. It's so nice, so great. One of the best ones in the show. Yeah, Joe Adell with a quiet 36 home runs this year from Stefan. Goose Grease is asking which ballpark has the jacuzzi in the outfield. That's Arizona. Yep, everybody got him in the chat. Perfect. Oh, we got something on Naylor here. Naylor just had a nice 11-pitch RBI single. Okay, that's what we're looking for. Josh fucking Naylor versus Chaith Silseth. All right, so this is interesting. We got bases loaded, 1 out. Mariners are up 1. So a home run here ends the game in a good way for them. But a hit here is huge. So first pitch, he goes for the downs. Mano. My four seam versus your uppercut swing. And that's strike 1. This is going to be a nice long one. All right, four seam again. Swings again. This time chases off the plate. So a little over anxious for Naylor. Let's see how he digs out of it. Third heater in a row. Oh, I got a screen share. I caught it, but like almost a little too late. Sorry, guys. All right, here we go. So fastball up, huge swing. Another fastball away. How many, while we're talking, how many pitchers will end the season with 200 innings? I bet it's 2 or 3. Not many. Probably Logan Webb, probably Crochet. All right, so we're just going to play this fastball game. If I get a guy swinging at that, I might throw one even higher. Goes sweeper, pulls it in his own dugout. So as he's firmly in swing mode, you got to throw a crazy chase pitch. Wow, that was nasty. How did he hit this? Look at this splitter's action. The action on this split. This is a really good pitch. So Silseth has dominated this at bat, and he's got nothing to show for it yet.
Trying to cash in right now.
Gonna double up on that. Ooh, this one he kind of hung. All right, here's how you can see a difference in vertical break. This is something interesting. So this is 8.4. Watch how this ball appears to just float with no movement to the plate. You guys see that? The previous pitch. Oh, you got to be crapping me. The previous pitch was... Well, I'll find it. This one. And you can see that one dove down. So one floats and one actually dives. And this one, the metric, basically at 0. So that's the difference. That's the 8-inch difference right there. You can see it visually, but that's how it, once you see it with the numbers, you're like, oh yeah, I do see that. This ball dropped, whereas this next one floats. Here's this next one. Here's the 8.4. Watch it float.
Trying to cash in right now.
And he actually got under it, which is weird. All right, so still 0-2. It's going to triple up on split. This one's going to be even better. Negative 8.8. So, wow, that was really big. He's got huge variance on his splitter movement, huh? Back to the sweeper. Another foul ball. It's still 0-2. Are you kidding me with this at bat? I would throw a ball. Wow, he threw another ball that he could reach. And he swung again. He swung at the first 9 pitches of this at bat. Throw something that he can't hit. Spike it. There you go. There you go. Good idea. But now Naylor kind of got reset. So, fastball coming. Oh my god. And then he pulls it through. Silseth did a lot of work just to give up that hit. That kind of stinks. Great at bat by Naylor. Got to give him credit. This is kind of an old school at bat. Just grinded. Fouled off enough pitches until he got something to put in play. Made it happen to take a big lead. So good tip on that. Watching that at bat, that was fun. Yeah, a couple good at bats tonight. Crochet, Webb, Scooble, Sanchez probably. Then a bunch of dudes at 176 would probably won't make it. Yep. Good hitting needs to be shown more. They don't succeed often, but there's still so many examples of great hitting, even on foul balls. This is funny. I've been trying to reach out to one of my buddies who is a lot more knowledgeable on this than I am, because I remember having this discussion with Jose Iglesias last year on the bus, and he's like talking about, they don't like my chase rate. He's like, but the way that I've been taught to play the game is I foul pitches off. I'm annoying with 2 strikes. I don't go down swinging. I keep fouling pitches off, even if they're balls or they're close pitches, I'm going to swing, but that makes my chase rate go up, and that makes the machine tell me that my hitting is not good and not sustainable. And to me, that's a little sad, because I get both sides of this. Like, on one hand, it is annoying to face a guy who will foul off 11 pitches and then get a hit. But on the other hand, it's also annoying to face a guy like Juan Soto who will spit on a pitch an inch off the plate and force you back into the zone. So they're both good skill sets. Which one is more sustainable? Probably the guy with the good eye at the plate who makes good swing decisions over and over and over again. But at the same time, like that old school approach, that pest at the plate that Iglesias was talking about and that he embodied as a player, there's something to be said for that too. We just saw it with Josh Naylor. We saw how that can work. This is something I've highlighted a little bit on the show. Guys with two strike approaches, guys that will spread out, do anything they can to put the ball in play. And we've shown some of the fruits of that effort. So yes, I do think it should be talked about a little more and celebrated at times. But it's just so crazy because at the end of the day, your chase rate will be really bad. And then that will look poor when the algorithm decides your projection. Like Chappie Belly was a good example. He's a guy with a great 2-strike approach. He's willing to use the entire field. Holiday ruining the no-hitter is a great example as well. Yes, he was cognizant of the inside pitch against Yamamoto that night and was able to get the head to it. I turned into the game just in time to see it live. Yeah, that was crazy. Woo's now at 12 strikeouts, so we could watch the next 2. Oh yeah, he's out here. So he got through this. He actually punches out the side in the 6th to keep his streak going. This is awesome. Oh, we got to watch from this poopy angle here. Oh, he goes front door sinker. So that's going to look really good on the broadcast. This pitch right here. Front door sinker to Moncada. And then he goes Taylor Ward on a sweeper. Gets him fishing. Then Joe Waddell for the second time on a sweeper. Oh, Woo is definitely on one. You see that little move right here? Boom! I like it. He's one of my favorites, man. He's so good. It's also so cool that he was dog shit in college and now he's like the man in MLB. It just gives hope to everybody. Like, player development never stops and you never know when you're going to take that leap forward. So cool. All right, Tyler Stevenson, game-tying 3-run homer, Reds A's. Wow. It's a great story. Would have been cool to have them both in the lineup the year. The way he annoyed pitchers was visible last year. I agree. It's annoying sometimes, and when it's going right, you see the value of an Iglesias. I remember watching Harper scoot up in the box as the pitch was coming and getting a hit. Like, it's good hitting like that is exciting. But Bazana is a great example of a good hitter like Soto. I haven't seen enough of Bazana yet. I'm excited to see him come up for the Guardians. Looks like a little spark plug, little Aussie. I love that. Haven't seen a great Aussie hitter since Trent Olchin. Well, LA's at 12 runs now. I don't know what I missed. My God. Blue Pits in LA. Okay. We don't need to watch too many Blue Pits. What were we just about to... Oh, yeah, the Reds and the A's. This is a huge game, too. The Reds are now knocking on the door with the Mets continuing to lose. Reds, A's. Ooh, Sevy's on the bump tonight. He gets clipped here, huh? By Stevenson. Let's watch the whole at bat. It's going to be a 3-run dinger. Oh, wow. Look who's in the booth. Quick. Do you guys know who these are? It's the one and only Barry Zito, Mark Mulder, Tim Hudson, all wearing the green jackets. These dudes are amazing. I got to play catch with Mark Mulder once. Guy's a big freaking guy. It's like 6'6". All right, 98 away. So it's slider ball 1, 98 away. 97 away. I love when Sevy goes into bulldog mode. He's just chucking missiles. Here comes another really good sweeper. He developed a good sweeper with the Mets. Mets and Driveline, I should say. 98.5 there. And then this is going to be the home run. Fastball again. So probably a predictable heater. Wow, Tyler Stevenson, Oppo? 103 at 29, so that's legit. Suter, we've been talking a little bit about this park plays. But this is a nice swing, man. Goes the other way, up and away. I think the big issue in this at-bat is Sevy never showed him anything on the inner third of the plate, so he was able to kind of leak out over there. And just got to give credit to the hitter, though. Great swing, uses the whole field. This is the type of hitting that we try to highlight on this show. This hitting freaking works. Granted, you got to be a moose to go Oppo, but still, great approach if you got it. So that was sick. Big game for the Reds. Who started for the Reds tonight? Hunter Green. Did it not go good? Brent Rooker homer. Ooh, did not go good early. He looked about as good as I've seen anybody look against the Mets last week. Damn, Brent Rooker's a good hitter. This is 99.4 at the 18-inch vert. Where's the location? Up in. And he hits it 106. Brent Rooker's a freaking good hitter, man. And you talk about a simple swing, and one of the things that I like, that I admire in hitters, and this is something I've seen now with a lot of A's hitters, they keep their hands back early. Like, watch these hands. Watch the monos. They start here, but they're already back. So he doesn't really have to do anything. He just has to deliver them. So his timing mechanism, he just gets up on his toe down here. And he just kind of waits for his moment. And the hands are already back. And he just kind of coils in just a touch. And then he steps and unleashes. And it's a nice small step. And just rotates through it. But Nick Kurtz, Langoliers, they all start with the hands back. And to me, like, the simplicity of movement is just a really good strategy at the plate. Especially if you want to be on time for 99 up and in. And then Carlos Cortez, who I believe had 2 homers the other night. This is crazy. This is a 12-pitch at-bat. You know what? Carlos Cortez, he's a former Met prospect. So we'll watch the entire at-bat. 99.5 down. Slider. So Hunter Green falling behind. That's something that he was not doing last week when I mentioned. Ooh, so he gets a weird swing there. So he was driving the bus in every at-bat versus the Mets last week. Looks like even that's a bad fastball. Kind of pull down in. This is the 4-seam mistake. So, like I noted before, he was throwing about 17s to 18s. This is only a 15.5. And you see this a lot when a 4-seam gets pulled down into the glove side. So that's kind of what happens here. All right, slider. Little foul.
Not much to complain about with Carlos
Splitter and the shitter. All right, 3-2. I mean, the four seam's still playing at this point in the at-bat. There's still another 4 pitches left, though, or 4 or 5 pitches left. Wow, really weird foul ball here. So here's another example of a guy swinging at balls, staying alive. Eventually, this one's going to end in a dinger, though. So this was all worth it, right? The walk wouldn't have been worth it. The non-chase. Eventually, he got himself a good pitch to hit. Well, that was a good pitch to hit, but he didn't hit it. But maybe he's getting a little bit closer as we go. Oh, and then a slider that's just kind of into his bat. So sometimes you do this as a pitcher. You just throw it in the one spot that you can actually handle it. He was never really on your fastball, Hunter Green. And I know you wanted to get the whiff, and this at-bat got long. But you threw it into his bat by accident. And believe me, I've done it many, many times. All right, so I wanted to watch that. How else? Any other dingers or anything? Jacob Wilson, ground rule double. This chased him in the 3rd inning. Just never know in the big leagues, man. You could look like completely unhittable 1 second, and the next second you're out of the game before you've only gotten like 7 outs. Did he get hurt here? Definitely hit him like in like the Achilles or something, right? Dude, that ball whacked him. So it's only 90 though, but it looked like it hit him pretty good. Kind of like on the inside of the ankle, maybe. I don't know. All right, let's get back in the chat. I see there's a lot of stuff over here, and I've been missing out on it. Man, every Mets season feels like you're just checking other games, see if their wildcard competitors are losing or not. Yeah, but I mean, this is the fun part of the year. We're in the pennant race here. I mean, the Mets are letting these other teams stick around. So Giants lose, so the Mets are fine with that. Cincinnati's going to be an important one to keep an eye on. Lots of Oppo home runs this year, maybe not different from past years. Maybe just paying attention more. I don't know. That'd be a funny thing to look at the stats. I remember talking to Bud Black, my manager with the with the Rockies, and I was asking him about how he managed to strike out like 3 batters per 9 in his career and have a 3 ERA. And he was saying that back in the day when he used to give more space off the outside corner, he could just live off the corner away, and that there was only one guy in every lineup maybe that could hit an opposite field home run, so he could keep everybody in the ballpark like that. And I was like, oh, that's nice, because now like there's probably 5 guys in every lineup that can hit an opposite field home run, if not more. I still miss Sevy. Wish we got him over Montas. Yeah, I mean, that was just weird how that breakup kind of happened. Sevy definitely wanted to be there. And yes, he definitely hates Suter Health Park. 6.34 ERA there. Wow. Brewers scored 3 in the bottom of the 9th. Send the game to extras. We can watch that. They came back on the Cardinals, I guess, huh? All right, let's go to that. Dun, 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 dun. This time I'm going to share my screen. I'm not going to mess that up. Cardinals, Brewers. It was Leahy. Oh, no. It started with O'Brien. So he hits Durbin. So 3-run lead in the 9th. Oftentimes, as a guy who's had some saves, it seems like a great situation. I always like 2-run lead. 2-run lead kept me sharp mentally. Like, can't let anybody on base because then a home run, then a home run ties the game. 3 guys on. Sometimes you're like, oh my god, I have such a big lead. Ball 1, ball 2, ball 3, ball 4, and then you're like, wake the freak up. So then he hits one guy, he hits a second guy. So back to back, hit by pitches. Just the classic sinker in, hit by pitch. O'Brien doesn't look like he cared at all, but he hit both of them. And now Sal Frelick, let's watch this at bat. This is going to be a big hit here. Sinker. He's got a nice sinker. Nice pitch, Riley O'Brien. But sinkers to lefties, I don't know, cuz. Not for strikes in that location. Victor Scott dives to cut it off. And then Jackson Chorio, who I still have flashbacks to the playoffs last year when he was whacking home runs against the Mets as a 20-year-old. Guy's unreal. Another guy with a very simple swing.
I beg your pardon on the count. High strike call.
All right, 1-2. Curveball again. Sinker. Just gets on top of a sinker up somehow. Hell of an effort by Donovan, but Chorio's a jackrabbit. He's in there. All right, so at this point, they're going to have first and third, no out, down 1. Leahy comes in, and it looks like he does a good job to not lose the game this inning. Ooh, Terang, who's been quietly one of the best hitters in baseball for the last few months, pops it up. I was been meaning to do a little bit of a deeper dive on Terang because I saw that he's hitting the ball way harder. It's interesting to make this big of a jump in 1 year. Then we got a William Contreras hit? Infield hit? Well, there's no Nolan over there, so that's an easy hit. Well, there's a different Nolan Gorman. I was thinking of Arenado. That sucks. But then Leahy obviously does some big-time pitching here. Ooh. Trick fucks Yelich, strikes him out with a fastball looking. And then Isaac Collins is going to fly out. So they're going to go to extras. So good job by Leahy, honestly. But the 2 hit by pitches start off this inning. Milwaukee, man, they just don't go away. They're scrappy. They're a scrappy bunch. Got to give them credit. After a while, it's easy to notice when something is luck-based. PCA, for example, was almost too hot that I knew he was going to fall off the planet in the second half, but not this bad. Yeah. I don't know. BABIP's a weird thing. Expected, balls versus expected balls versus real. Expected batting average versus real batting average. They're all funny little things. I do think skill sets matter a lot. PCA is an example of too much chase. He's actually too good at hitting bad pitches, and so a lot of times he puts the wrong pitch in play. He just swings generally too much. He'd be a great guy to walk. Also, he has such good top end. Also, he has such top end, power for his size that it'd be nice to be able to get his A swing off more often. All right, you want to watch the Yelich at bat? I do too, actually. All right, so here we go. First and second, 1 out. Yelich at the plate. Fastball in. That ball looks like it has some cut to it. Well, it's not full cut, but it's perceived cut, 3.5. So that ball's going to feel like it's bearing in on a lefty. That's certainly what this fastball feels like, right? Yep, ball 1. Now he's going to go change up off that. Roll over foul. Good pitch off that. Now curveball, okay. So I bet Leahy's actually maybe a reverse split guy. He's got a little bit of a cut to his four seam in a way. Good changeup and good curveball. Those are all good reverse split pitches. So this is actually a ball. He gets the 2-1 here. So it's got to be another off speed. Yeah, it's another curveball. Gets it down. Yelich just completely decided that he was going to get another curveball. He said, this guy's got a great curveball. He's got a freaking great curveball. And I'm going to look for it. And let's see where this ball comes out height-wise. So that is about a little bit above the knee. I bet the fastball comes out in a similar spot. Let's see. Height-wise. Yeah, I mean, it's probably a little higher. I'm probably fudging it a little bit with where I'm drawing the line. But yeah, it's probably thigh high. The ball ends up higher. It's a fastball. So that probably has something to do with it. It's just a good tunnel. Classic tunnel and a hitter just guessing wrong. Sensing that the pitcher was going to stay soft with him, and then he didn't. Yeah, Sprout, West Coast Friendly Show. I mean, I think we're going to end up doing more of these Baseball After Darks, especially come playoff time, when things get spicy. But yeah, definitely these Saturday nights have been awesome. This is the second one we've done, and it's been really fun. I've had a lot of good stuff in the chat. We've been going for hour 45, so probably about 15 left, but it's been fun. This game is in the balance. Oh, what game is that? Let's look it up. Yeah, Cardinals and Brewers are in the bottom of the ninth now. Oh no, we just saw that. So there must be going to the 10th? Or maybe that game's still going? I'm confused now. Yeah, 10th inning. Abner Uribe, hit by pitch, walk, double play. Are you kidding me? He gets a double play. So he had... So they do score a run, though. Cardinals score a run. So Milwaukee's going to have to come back from that. Who's going to pitch the 10th inning for the Cardinals is the question. When East Coast teams travel to play West Coast teams and start the game at 10 p.m. Eastern time, that always makes me so mad. Yeah, I get it. It's harder to cover. I used to hate it as a kid, too. I used to listen to the games on the radio, like, laying in bed. And then, like, that game would just be, like, starting. I'd be, like, past my bedtime when I was little. And I was just like, this sucks. But I love playing on the West Coast. Like, I love being out there for a night game. And then, like, you have a sick game or whatever. And then, like, you come back and you're just adrenaline's going. And it feels like everybody in America is asleep except for you. I don't know. I always like that feeling. I feel like the East Coast players must be tired in the later innings when it feels like they're playing at 1 a.m. Believe it or not, it's a lot easier to adjust going that direction. When you come from the west to the east, everybody's always so tired because they lost a few hours. People are dragging hard for a day or two. I actually feel like when you go out to the west, it kind of works the other way. You end up getting those hours back in a way. And so guys feel good. Guys feel good. Plus that California weather, especially San Fran, is just kind of cold at the games, so it keeps you awake. Assuming health, how would you shake out the Dodgers playoff rotation? And then there's a quick props to Abner Uribe and his amazing stuff. He does have amazing stuff. We'll keep it here because I'm curious who's going to pitch the 10th, if considering Uribe's out of this inning now. Okay, Dodgers playoff rotation. Yamamoto, number 1. I think Snell and Glasnow, in some order, are next. And then Shohei. I think you're pitching Shohei once a series. And then I think, unfortunately, I think Clayton, I don't know when he's going to get a start. I don't know. Not sure about that. And maybe they use Shohei in a different kind of role, and then that gets Clayton in there for the right matchup. I know Sheen's been pretty good too, but I think he might be useful in a swing role. They could use a little more beefage in their bullpen. I could see Shohei maybe doing that, but it would be super weird. Super weird. I mean, you lose a DH if it's an extra inning game or whatever. But can you just put Shohei in the outfield then? He can play the outfield, right? Can you switch him out there? Is that how that works? But then your pitcher would be hitting and you just keep pitch. I guess if you pinch hit, if you have guys left on the bench. But I think Yamamoto's separating himself now as the ace. So he's the main guy. Snell and Glasnow, those are probably good bets to be 2-3. Shohei probably starts a bullpen game. That's another option as well. They did a lot of that last year. I would put Shohei in the outfield. Yeah, I would. I don't think it's a problem. I mean, what's going to happen? Is he going to crash into a wall? I just tell him don't do anything stupid. I think you should just let Shohei focus on hitting in the playoffs. I don't know. You've got to do whatever you can to win. They probably are going to need him on the mound at some point. Maybe not starting, though. I think it'd be nice not to have him start. I think it would be nice, yeah. I'm crazy, though. I would talk to Shohei. If he wouldn't want to play outfield, I wouldn't put him out there, but I wouldn't mind it. Shoot, I've seen Joe Madden put Travis Wood in the outfield for one batter and then bring him back into the game. So we've seen some stuff. For the record, I'm team piggyback Shohei and Kershaw. Interesting. I hear people say Ohtani takes a little bit to get into the groove when pitching, but that's hearsay. You know, he looked pretty good in the WBC game against USA when I was there, and he punched us out in the 9th inning. And sometimes I think just going out there as a closer, oh God, Brewers tied it up. I think sometimes when you go in there in a big spot as a closer, your adrenaline's pumping so hard that you're not easing into the game anymore. You're just going ham. It's different when you're in the role all the time and that effect starts to wane. But like at the beginning, when you first become a closer, like you're just like, I'm coming out throwing bullets. I remember like I closed a little bit on the weekends. My freshman year in college was the first experience I had pitching like late in games, and I would come out with just super adrenaline and aggression, and it was like really fun, like really fun. All right, let's watch the Durbin double because this tied the game again. So this game's still going. It was another sweeper. Oh, I didn't know Leahy was going to have this good of a sweeper though. -18 and 2.4. So everybody's got the big mix now. Literally could not have written a better ending except for Trout teeing off on him, I guess. Yeah, I really wanted us to win that, USA. That would have been so cool, especially after that Trey Turner homer in the Venezuela game. And I don't know, I thought we had a pretty damn good team, but credit to Japan. They shoved it up our hitters' butts the whole night. We saw, I'm pretty sure Imanaga started that game, and we saw a whole host of studs. And then, yeah, I mean, Shohei was electric in that ninth inning. Brewers won the Devin Williams trade. Who'd the Yankees give? Durbin? Caleb Durbin? The Brewers don't lose many trades, Spectre. That's why they are where they are. The adrenaline dump after closing is wild. I was actually just talking about that, Dan O'Mac. Like, I remember had some saves in San Francisco, like 2015, and just like so much adrenaline. And then like I'm just like in my hotel room, bouncing off the walls all night. Like, okay, I got to go get something to eat. Like 2 a.m. I got to figure something out. Like just the adrenaline, and then you just get so tired and you crash so hard. So it's fascinating. It's a fascinating job, but it's so fun. As a guy who's been there, how much do the stories you hear about the clubhouse guys like Lacy and JD Martinez actually help a team overperform? I think it's different every year. I do think JD is big just because he's like kind of like the hit doctor, you know? He's the guy who had really good advice with preparation. I know he cleaned up a lot of the hitting meetings last year. He's just, I can't say enough about JD as a baseball mind, and hope to get him on the show at some point. You know, in terms of like how just like a vibe can change things, it's all like momentum based. Like you're not just gonna like drop an Iglesias in the clubhouse that's gonna work every time, but it can add to the experience, especially once that snowball gets rolling in the right direction. Not that Skeens isn't. Oh yeah, they traded Nestor to the Padres after that, and then he got hurt. Thanks, Sean. Yeah, no, I'm hoping to get some people on here. I have a really good hitter that I think we're going to get on this week, so I'm excited about that. We'll talk about his hitting and stuff, and I think people will enjoy that conversation as we start to transition into some conversations as well as the iPad stuff on the channel. Yep, Jaden. Oh, I haven't seen you in a while. You're back. Yankees finally got the Chapman. Yes, but it was a hell of an at-bat by Bellinger. That was good stuff. And Maya, yes, I agree with you. We'll never forget that at-bat from McNeil. He did a good job against Shohei. Philip Denny. Personally, do you care more about ERA or FIP? ERA. I hate FIP. Don't get me started on FIP. This is why I don't care about Fangraphs WAR for pitchers. Outs are outs. I absolutely despise FIP. You can be a good pitcher without FIP. Of course, if I had a good FIP, that generally meant I was throwing the ball really well. But I looked at expected ERA more. I hated FIP. Sorry to get so emotional there, Philip. After the WBC popularity, do teams let their players play? I think so. I think it's going to be a tidal wave this year. I think it's going to be one of the more electric tournaments that's ever been held, and it continues on the upward trajectory to the point where maybe it even comes in the All-Star break at some point. Everybody wants to be a part of it. I mean, Skeens is going to play. It's going to be so cool. I hope I'm playing for Italy. If not, I think we'll be covering the show on this. The whole tournament, so I'm so freaking stoked for that. So the Brewers must have won again. Yeah, Monasterio. 10 pitch at bat too.
Monasterio up the middle, base hits. Here comes Durbin around third.
Spectre, we're gonna have a lot of time to talk about WBC team rosters this offseason, but the Dominican team is looking unreal. The American team's looking almost as good, probably just as good. So yeah, it's going to be like dream teams, multiple dream teams. Let's not count out Puerto Rico, Japan, Venezuela, Korea. I mean, shoot, the U.S. has only got one title. So there's Monasterio with the line drive single. Leahy, tough outing for Leahy. He ends up throwing a crap load of pitches, 31 pitches in this game. battled hard for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 batters, ends up taking the loss. The Brewers just don't go away. They're so annoying, man. They're so freaking annoying. Why do you hate FIP if it was an accurate predictor of if you were pitching well? Because it wasn't always an accurate predictor of if I was pitching well. I always felt like it sold me short a little bit on, like, I could, especially if I went to like a ground ball approach. Like my FIP in 23 is bad, but that was like intentional. Like I decided to stop trying to get strikeouts for a little while because I was like, I just don't have the capability to get them at the same rate right now. So I'm going to switch to ground ball style. And I did that, shot the ground ball rate up, ended up with like a pretty good ERA on the year. And I felt like I earned it. But FIP was telling me that I was dog shit. And I just don't like that because it's not true. There's multiple ways to skin the cat. Like the FIP gods probably don't like David Peterson and stuff, but he gets the job done. Yeah, expected ERA is much more important to me, xERA. How do you qualify to play for a national team? Yeah, you have to prove your lineage going back at least 2 generations, I believe. I already played for Italy in 09, so I'm all set there. Because my great-grandfather is straight off the boat from Naples area. It's not the better predictor of future performance than ERA. No, I get it's a better overall, like if, okay. Want to have this argument? I'm fine with that. Like if you go to like my career here, right? And you go look at my FIP for my career, 3.62. My ERA beats that, 3.48. And I get generally over the course of a career, like this is more of an indicator. It actually holds up. It's stickier. I get that analytically. But at the same time, not always. Not always. It's not a golden ironclad rule. Like you can go look at like Hall of Fame pitchers that their FIP is way higher than their ERA. I'm just gonna make a guess here. Just gonna guess. I'm just gonna guess. Like here, Dan Quisenberry, 3.24 career FIP. 2.76 career ERA. He's in the Hall of Fame. It was a ground ball style. Like again, like I just think there's multiple ways to go about it. That's all. That's my only thing. And also FIP is like really like home runs are a big factor in that too. Like the big 3 are strikeouts, walks, and home runs. And there's some noise in home runs. That's why some people use what's the other one? XFIP. But I don't know. Sierra is another one. There's so many ERA indicators. I just think like it's great if you want to use that to try to be predictive of the next year, right? But that's not really what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about trying to project. That's like what all teams are trying to do now is they're trying to figure out what's going to happen. And spoiler alert, they don't fucking know, and neither do you. You got to play the games. They think they know, and they have pretty good indicators to give them some ideas of the good bets they want to make. But there's 100 variables that go into that, as we all know, and that's why that stuff sort of stresses me out. The idea of always projecting instead of just, you know, more evaluating. And when I evaluate somebody, I just think, you know, FIP misses the boat at times a little bit when I'm evaluating somebody. Like when I'm evaluating somebody, I think what you did sometimes, even if it was unorthodox, can be earned. You can make big pitches in big spots. That's fair. You can be a guy who compresses home runs. That's fair. Like you can have a unique skill set. So I don't know. I just don't like it to be so ironclad. I guess that's my whole thought. The Brewers look great right now. I agree. It's hard to count out the Brewers. They're annoying, man. They just do it, man. And I think Murph is a big part of it now. He's like a sick manager. Everybody loves Murphy, the manager for the Brew Crew. Yeah, and then Vlad playing for Canada. I love that idea, but he's definitely going to play for DR. That guy's DR through and through. And Dominican baseball's, it's in the blood, man. It's in the sangre. I think another way of putting FIP is when it looks good, it usually is, but a bad FIP pitcher could still be getting outs other ways. Very well said. Very well said. A swing and a miss must feel good, but having a guy diving out of the way of pitch that ends up in the zone has to feel like being a wizard. Yeah, that's a good feeling. Sometimes, though, it sucks because it's like the first pitch, so it doesn't really get you an out. It's just like cool for a minute. Expected batting average for pitchers as well. I think that's important. Like, I think that's important too for like just understanding how hard a guy is to actually hit. Did you ever feel like there was a conflict pitching for stats and pitching for what the team needed, especially if you were coming up on a trade or contract? Not really, because ultimately the team needs you to put up good stats. So it works in your favor. Like if you do a great job, then you're doing a good job for your team. I do think it comes into play a little bit with workload. It didn't for me. I was willing to die out there on the field, but you know, we've seen it before where a guy shies away because I haven't been paid yet. You know, the Josh Hader situation was interesting with that. I won't throw multi innings. Things have to be like my way or the highway. So that's an interesting situation. All right, I'm out. Thanks for the stream. Might have to root for Italy to play PWC. Yeah, I appreciate that. All right, I think I'm going to wrap it up too. We're over 2 hours now, so we're going to wrap it up. We'll just going to do the probables for tomorrow. All right, here we go. Burrows and Cavalli. Cameron and Nola, Royals Phillies day game. Valdez, Joey Wentz, Astros Braves, Albert Suarez. Haven't seen him in a bit. And then Shane Bieber, so big game for the Blue Jays again. Rangers and Mets. Can the Mets, get a win? At least they're throwing Lightning McLean out there. So McLean and Jacob Latz. That's a good one. Yoendrys Gomez, Slade Ciccone. He threw really well his last game. Ciccone took a no-hitter deep into that game. Tigers, Marlins, TBA, and Adam Mazer. Nabil Krismat, Bailey Ober, Diamondbacks, Twins. Miles Michaelis, Jose Quintana, Cardinals, Brewers, Rays, Cubs, Adrian Hauser, and Shota Imanaga. Okay, that's a good matchup there. Lodolo, that's a good pitcher for the Reds. They need all these wins. They're going against Luis Morales and the A's. And then we got Glasnow, Robbie Ray. That's an awesome game. Dodgers, Giants. Herman Marquez, Yu Darvish, Rockies, Pods. Kyle Hendricks, George Kirby. Kyle Hendricks, George Kirby from Seattle. So that's a good one too. Kind of interesting, two interesting pitchers. And then Yankees, Red Sox, Will Warren, Garrett Crochet. So the Red Sox are sending the big dog out there to avoid the sweep on Sunday Night Baseball. So that's going to be the night game. There will be no stream tomorrow. We got a predicted Maddox tomorrow for Crochet from Goose Grease. I really appreciate you guys for hanging with me. This has been awesome. This has been so fun to get going. It's just going to get better, man. Stick with us. Really appreciate you guys in the chat. You're making it so much fun for me. And it's really been fun. We went for 2 hours today. I really appreciate it. Thanks so much. Thanks so much, everybody. If that happens, Cy Young, not yet. Although Scooble might not pitch for a little bit, so the door maybe creaked open for Crochet again here to maybe storm through it. But that's the big Sunday night game. So another good day of baseball. I'm going to do one last peek at the scores that are happening right now. There's something. Dodgers are kicking butt. Mariners are looking good in the ninth. Reds are tied. So this is the big game that still has big meaning for Mets fans. Reds and A's, but I'm tired. I'm going to bed. So that's it for me tonight. Thank you so much, everybody. All right. See you guys on Monday, 10 a.m. Thanks. All right. Peace.